All right, so today I'm just I'm going to read an article because it's near and dear to my heart. Uh, it's an article about one of the best video games ever made, Deus Ex, and the article is written by William Hughes, and it starts with, "In Y2K, Deus Ex taught gaming the true meaning of liberty." I'm reading the article here, so it's not my voice, but I love this article, which is why I'm reading it. Gaming has always had a tricky time with labels. Take the ways critics have Frankenstein together various genre names for mediums over the years. Metroidvania, for example, uh, instead of calling it an environmental simulator with strong narrative elements. But even the simplest of gaming descriptors are fraught with traps and assumptions. Uh, Games that are Doom like in the gaming consciousness can be called first person shooters. It sounds pretty straightforward. But what if there was a game that gave you a choice where you didn't have to do that? In the year 2000, Ion Storm called this game Deus Ex. Developed by industry legend Warren Spector, and elements seem to have been taken from his previous games, Ultima Underworld, Thief, System Shock. This game laid out a vision for modern gaming that was no less revolutionary than any of the conspiracies that are involved in the game story itself. So for example, when the game gives you a choice, shotgun, assault rifle, pistol, Warren Spector created a world in which the hows and whys of these choices actually mattered. Uh, Things that you have to ask yourself when you're playing. Do I actually need to take this guy out? Or can I figure out a way to get these sentry guns to work for me? Or is there a better way through this room of heavily armed guys than using my gun? And nowhere was that philosophy of choice clearer than in the game's very first level, Liberty Island, home to the Statue of Liberty. So the game drops you into the role of J.C. Dent. He's a nano augmented agent of UNATCO. So that was formed in the aftermath of an incident that managed to remove the top of the Statue of Liberty. So that's where you work now. That's where the headquarters are. Except the first level takes place outside that. There's a quick tutorial that checks whether you can swim. Are you good at trying to get into a computer using the weapons? So the first choice that your brother in the game, Paul, offers you is which weapon do you want? So offers a dart gun, a sniper gun, or a rocket launcher. So you may think, well, that's just pretty simple. But the dart gun means you're going to be doing stealthy work, probably most of the time, because it takes a while for it to take effect. It's a mode of choice that you're going to be stealthy and sneak around all the obstacles and use the dart gun sparingly when you need to. The rocket launcher, yes, it can be helpful, but it has one really good use on the island for the giant robot stalking around. So if you just need a way to really deal with that guy. But here's where we get to the meat of what makes this level, Liberty Island, and so many of the actual other levels, the secret bases, the compounds, special. So blowing things up with a really big weapon is just one choice. And make no mistake, if you run at the sentry robot head on, you won't probably last very long. The simplest tactic is to not go near it at all. So it's not exactly a linear game like a Quake map. The levels are meant to feel like real locations. which means they have back entrances. They have back doors that might be unlocked, which would let you bypass large swaths of little robots running around. You could try sneaking or stealthing past the robot, especially if you can get into a nearby security camera and turn it off so it doesn't know you're there. I mean, people in the game seem to have this bad habit of leaving their passwords laying around in all the digital devices. You just pick one up. Hey, here's the password. I'll get into this door over here. Or you could try an EMP pulse to temporarily knock out the robot and give you a couple seconds. So no enemy in the game is a mandatory enemy for you to face. They're part of your choice, whether you want to engage with them or not, every single one. So that's the point of the game. It gives you, as the player, the choice. And then it recognizes and rewards you for that choice. So if you choose guns a-blazing, right, and you are probably going to go down guns a-blazing, blaze of glory. If you choose the stealthy route, you might live longer. You might find other secrets that you wouldn't have found. Or you could just try the super duper brute force, go all out, stock up on all the big weapons. If you have to get somewhere really quick in the game to get something to happen, which would be the fastest way possible, right, to beat a level, get done. There's 3 or 4 different ways to deal with the Liberty Island level. You can go straight up to him. You can try to sneak your way up to him to talk to him. You can not talk to him at all and go talk to someone else. But it rewards you with those choices, and the rest of the story ties into that. So this is the second half of what made the game special. It cares about the choices that you're making. Sometimes it's an experience bonus, right? If you choose the path of exploration, you get experience for that. And you can level up your nano augmentations to supplement that. If you choose the path of explosions, right? You can get experience for that, and tie in your nano augmentations to help do that. It doesn't judge the choices you make. It kind of lets you know that maybe every bad guy is not so bad and every good guy is not so good, right? So it's more realistic that way. And the path that you choose is the way the game lets you play it. Some of the later follow-up games let you, so you have to get through a door. You could try to, gun blow up the door, or you could sneak past the door, or use a computer and hack your way into the door, or you could talk to the security guard and use one of your linguistic skills, charisma, to try to convince him, I need to get through that door. So there's all these options available, which is really fascinating. So if the idea of a video game that keeps track of your decisions sounds passé, it's only because that was the first game that really did it. And games since then have copied or tried to copy the way that was done. Most of the other games that have come out have tied the freedom that you express to a specific consequence. None of them, except this game, gave you, let's say, an entire building to play with. Like, you have all the floors of the building, you have the elevator, you have the stairs, you have the ductwork you can crawl through, you have security door, you have 50 different options, it feels like, to get to one objective. And it doesn't lock you into that objective. You choose one building stealthily, and the other building you could brute force. So it lets you play how you want to play in every single one of those, like little playgrounds that it's set up for you along. So basically, in the summation, this game, Deus Ex, gave its players unprecedented amounts of choice to do whatever they wanted. And that level, specifically Liberty Island, the first one, is where you get your feet wet and begin to explore. As always, if you like my content, please like and subscribe.